A doutora Georgia Ede é uma psiquiatra treinada em Harvard. Nós nos conhecemos nos Estados Unidos durante o meu doutorado e tive a oportunidade de revê-la no mês passado na Suíça, num congresso sobre saúde metabólica.
We thought about psychiatric problems as being psychological, so stress and trauma and childhood issues, and partly biological, but the biology of it we were taught was about the chemical imbalances in the brain. So we were taught to use psychotherapy for the psychological pieces, and we were taught to use medications for the biological pieces, but we never stopped to ask ourselves what is causing the chemical imbalances in the first place. Our metabolic health, blood sugar levels, our insulin levels, inflammation, all of those things that are causing the rest of our body to have difficulties. Of course, the brain is not an exception. The foods that you eat determine three things about brain health. So one is, are you nourishing the brain? Which means, are you getting all of your essential nutrients? It needs to protect the brain from damaging ingredients that are in the modern diet. So it needs to exclude the refined carbohydrates, things like sugar and flour and cereals and fruit juice. And it needs to exclude the vegetable oils, things like soybean oil. These are the signature ingredients of the modern unhealthy diet. They create inflammation in the body and brain. They create what's called oxidative stress in the body and brain. And the third thing that the diet needs to do is it needs to energize the brain safely in a way that protects the brain metabolism for the rest of your life. And that means keeping your blood sugar and insulin levels in a healthy range. And modern diets do not do that. If your blood sugar and insulin levels are running too high too often, you will, over time, not just damage the inside of the brain with inflammation and oxidative stress, you will make it more difficult for the brain to access energy. A ketogenic diet is very special because most other diets do not allow you to spend enough time in ketosis. A lot of people think of glucose or sugar, blood sugar, as the best fuel source for the brain, and that the brain is supposed to, it really works its best if it's 100% running on glucose. That is not true. The brain is the hybrid engine, so it's really designed to switch back and forth between burning mostly glucose for energy and then burning a mixture. So the brain does need some glucose at all times, but it doesn't need very much. And it is designed to spend time in this hybrid state because the brain needs a break from processing all of that glucose. Processing glucose 100% puts a lot of stress on the brain. It creates a lot of inflammation and oxidative stress. The brain needs to rest. And if you supply it with ketones, the ketones then allow some of those pathways that have been running full speed on glucose all day to relax, and the brain can spend some time healing and paying attention to other things. I think everybody would be wise to spend time in ketosis on a regular basis to protect the brain's health over time. In some cases, you can feel worse before you feel better. So it's really important to work with somebody who understands ketogenic diets. A serious mental health issue, particularly something like bipolar disorder or schizophrenia, or people who have any serious psychiatric symptoms, history of self-injury or suicidal thinking, those types of situations, it's especially important that if you'd like to try a ketogenic diet, which may be a very, very good idea, that you work with somebody that knows how to use these diets. And so the information is not enough. You also need the support and the guidance, because these behavior changes are not easy, and it's easy to slip backwards. And especially in our food environment, it's very difficult to eat a low carbohydrate diet. It takes some practice. People do much better when they have that support.
Você pode conferir mais sobre o trabalho da doutora Georgia Ede no site diagnosisdiet.com. Ali você também encontra profissionais de saúde que trabalham dentro dos preceitos de saúde metabólica. Você pode procurar também os profissionais que trabalham na sua área. O meu site está listado nesse diretório como um dos profissionais que a doutora Georgia Ede recomenda por estar capacitada a trabalhar com as terapias metabólicas, incluindo a dieta cetogênica. Se você é profissional de saúde ou paciente da área de saúde mental e está precisando entender mais sobre saúde metabólica e sobre as terapias metabólicas nutricionais, acesse o site t21.video. Lá você vai encontrar muitas aulas sobre nutrição, sobre o cérebro e sobre a dieta cetogênica terapêutica.